Hello, my name is Kim Cabrales. Today I'm going to talk about the Women's Rights National Historical Park. The Women's Rights National Historical Park tells the story of the first Women's Rights Convention held in Siena Falls, New York, on July 19th through 20th, 1848. It is a story of struggles for civil rights, human rights, and equality, global struggles that continue today. The efforts of women's rights leaders and other 19th century reformers remind us that all people must be accepted as equals. The Women's Rights National Historical Park, operated by the National Park Service, commemorates the accomplishments of women's rights movement. The park comprises three principal components, namely the Elizabeth Cady Stanton House, the restored Westland Chapel, located in downtown Siena Falls, and the Women's Rights Museum. The Westland Chapel holds particular significance as it served as a venue for the first Women's Rights Convention in 1848, which was attended by approximately 300 women and 40 men, including activist Frederick Douglass. The convention adopted the Declaration of Sentiments, a statement of women's equality modeled on the Declaration of Independence and signed by around 100 attendees. The convention also adopted 12 resolutions, including a call for women's right to vote, which was a groundbreaking demand at that time. The Westland Chapel was a fitting venue for the convention as it was a hub for radical reform agitation and was routinely made available for reform speakers and events. On July 9th, a group of 5 reform-minded women convened at a social gathering in Waterloo, New York, and resolved to hold a convention to discuss the social, civil, and religious rights and condition of women. The women published a call in the local newspaper, inviting people to attend the convention, which was scheduled to take place on July 19th and 20th in the Westland Chapel in Siena Falls. Located 3 miles east of Waterloo, the convention drew over 300 people, relying heavily on pre-existing networks of reformers, relatives, and friends. While in the discussion of women's rights was not new to American society, the Siena Falls Convention marked a crucial formal beginning of a movement in the United States that gained momentum in the years leading up to the American Civil War of the 1860s. The movement was characterized by a series of women rights convention and local and regional grassroots efforts that used the demands expressed in the Declaration of Sentiments to advance the position of women in American society. The Declaration of Sentiments, adopted at the Siena Falls Convention, demanded many necessary social, political, and economic rights. These demands continue to be contested in the United States and around the world. As the world set about preparing for the event, Elizabeth Cady Stanton used the Declaration of Independence as the framework for writing what she titled a Declaration of Sentiments. She included Jefferson's original phrase, but rewritten as, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men and women are created equal, that their Creator endows them with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness." The Declaration lists many grievances that the women should be abolished. Stanton's declaration reads, "The history of humanity is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations on the part of man toward woman, having indirect object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over her. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. The sentiments read, married women were legally dead in the eyes of the law. Women were not allowed to vote. Women had to submit to laws when they had no voice in their formation. Married women had no property rights. Husbands had legal power over and responsibility for their wives to the extent that they could imprison or beat them with immunity. Divorce and child custody laws favored men, giving women no right. Women had to pay property tax, although they had no representation in the levying of these taxes. Most occupations were closed to women, and when women did work, they were only paid a fraction of what men earned. Women were not allowed to enter professions such as medicine or law. Women had no means to gain an education since no college or university would accept women students. With only a few exceptions, women were not allowed to participate in the affairs of the church. Women were robbed of their self-confidence and self-respect and were made totally dependent on men. The Women's Rights National Historical Park was established in 1980 to preserve and interpret the nationally significant historical and cultural sites and structures associated with the struggle for equal rights for women. The park's mission is to educate, inspire, and benefit present and future generations, and cooperate with state and local entities to preserve the character and historical setting of such sites and structures. Our society is undoubtedly regulated and structured through the establishment and enforcement of law. It is through the law that we define and protect our rights and outline our responsibilities to one another. However, it is also an undeniable fact that the laws of the past have failed certain groups of people, including women. The Declaration of Sentiments, which was read at the Cena Falls Convention, boldly detailed the ways in which the laws of the time failed women, denying them rights, safety, and potential. In 1998, the park held celebrations recognizing 150th anniversary of the Cena Falls Convention, which was attended by over 14,000 people. As part of the event, Hillary Clinton delivered a speech. This upcoming year, in 2024, the Women's Rights National Historical Park will have their 175th anniversary. The convention, along with the speakers, partners, and visitors, will confidently explore the conditions and legal structures that motivated the reformers of 1848 to organize. The event will also examine the ways in which Cena Falls Convention planners and attendees inspire changes in American democracy and representation, legal theory, and the practice of law, and the most fundamental pillars of American citizenship. It is great to see that this convention is still going strong and going to be celebrating their 175th anniversary. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.